Well, hello YouTube. Here we are with a little bit of a video. Well, in front of us here we have a bicycle tire folded up, zip tied, and jammed in a box. Now, of course, these are the way it seems that most bicycle tires are nowadays, especially if you buy them from big box retail stores and other bicycle shops. Now, there is about a $30 to $40 price difference between these bicycle tires and the ones you find in the better bicycle shops as well. I think they fold these ones up mainly to save on shipping costs, because as you see, we have a 26-inch mountain bike tire in front of us, and well, it's folded up and pretty much wedged inside this here box. So of course, let's tear on into her. Taking out the tire. Now she is zip tied, so I'm gonna probably expect there's probably a little bit of pressure behind it. I'm not 100% sure how it is folded, because the old school bicycle tires actually had metal inside this here lip. These new ones must have nylon or Kevlar or something that still allow it to flex but still remain strong. So we'll get that zip tie cut, and as you see there, it kind of starts to unfold. It looks like it's folded and then folded onto itself. So I'll get this unfolded here, try to get out some of these kinks. It's kind of weird how technology changes and new things come about. I suppose it's all to do with shipping that they started doing it this way. I guess they could probably put 15 or 20 tires in the same space that it would normally take to ship a bundle of 10 of the normal tires. So of course, let's take the tube. Pretty much your standard 26-inch bicycle tube. Take off the valve cap. I'm going to throw a little bit of air into it just for ease of assembly. Now you don't have to put 30 pounds or nothing in it, just a couple of PSI, just enough that it starts to take, well, shape of the tube. You can get it in there into the tire without pinching it, and well, it should be okay. Now if you're running 175 tires, try to run 175 tubes. If you're running 2125 or whatever they are, run the appropriate tubes. You're not inflating them. If you try to drive or wedge a 2125 tube inside a 175 tire, you could end up pinching it, which defeats the purpose of putting a new tube in. Now with the bicycle tire, you have a rubber liner in here. Check to make sure it's still there. It's not checked or cracked. If it is cracked, either buy a new one or put a few rounds of electrical tape. So taking your valve stem right here, lining it up with the hole, which is right there, sticking her on through. Now we can start working the bicycle tire onto the rim. Of course, being mindful not to pinch the tube or anything like that, because that would suck at this point. Now, of course, you can use your hands. You can use specially made tire spoons. If you've customized screwdrivers, you can use them. Just be careful not to be puncturing the tube, because, well, again, tubes don't work when they have holes in them. So that little bit more air out of this tube just to make it a little bit easier. Kind of go around working it on in. Now sometimes when you get one side worked on, you check and the other side has popped off, which is well, semi-normal. I wouldn't get too stressed about that. That's just the nature of the beast. Now these tires are really soft, really flexible. They don't want to stay as easily where they're put as the old school ones. I suppose that's got to do with the lack of metal beading. The metal bead was really rigid, really stiff, and really you couldn't, most of them you couldn't, especially ones this small, you couldn't work on with your fingers. You had to use tools. Now if you're working with an old school tire, one that's already 3/4 rotten, you might find it's hard. That way then, you know, you can use your tire spoon. You can even use a butter knife if you grind down or file down where the teeth are. So once you've wrestled it around a bit, went around the rim 3 or 4 times, check to make sure that there's no bulging out of the tube anywhere. Make sure it's all good to go. If it looks okay, then make sure your valve stem is still sticking out of the hole. If it's still sticking out of the hole and good to go, then, well, add some air to the tube. Just give her, you know, 3 or 4 pumps. If you're using an air compressor, just give her 1 good shot, and then pretty much inspect your tire, making sure that you know, the bead is good. Try to get the tire centered in the rim if possible, making sure, you know, the tube itself is not poking out. If the tube itself pokes out, then basically it'll pop. The tube will tend to stick out, end up getting pinched. And if you're satisfied with that job, pretty much put more air in the tire, inflate her to your proper PSI, and then she'll be good to go. Put your little valve cap back on, and then mount her back on the bike, and she's golden. All in all, on a scale of 1 to 10, changing a flat on a bike, it's probably about, I don't know, a 4.5 to 5. The biggest thing is not really to pinch the tube. Take your time, pay attention to directionality of the tire. Some of them are directional, some of them aren't. Some of the cheaper ones are just straight up stick them on, they roll, kinda sorta. You know, again, don't pinch the tube. Take your time, use the proper tools, and should all work out okay. But guys, this has been an unboxing, a little bit of a first look at a Bikeway by Kenda 26 by 175 folding mountain bike tire that came folded up inside a box. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's World. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.